Now let's talk politics. The Super Falcons are kicking off the Women's African Cup of Nations today, and I'm joined now by international sports journalist Omar Akatugba. Omar, how are you doing?
Fine. Good to be on the stage. It's been a long
Yes,
time.
it's been a long time. You've abandoned us here. Before we get into that, I just want to touch on very quickly the Super Eagles, former Super Eagles goalkeeper Peter Rufai, who just passed away, I believe at 61 years old. Had about 65 caps for the Super Eagles, and he's probably the only, correct me if I'm wrong, the only goalkeeper who has a goal for Nigeria. Very sad death, isn't it?
Of course, Atudu Mayana left an indelible mark on the Nigerian football, game. The greatest goalkeeper Nigeria has ever produced. For those of us who grew up watching him, it was a sad one for football in Nigeria. Unfortunately, if we have to go into details of how he suffered, battled illness, and almost no one talked about him. Now he's dead. Everyone is paying tribute. But when he was alive, no one celebrated him. You want to always remember Patoranki's song, "Celebrate Me." Now they are alive. But that doesn't happen to our ex-internationals. It's unfortunate.
It's very unfortunate, and I mean, condolences go out to Peter Rufai's family, and it makes you wonder a lot about sports. And this is not to put them side by side, but I mean, we saw what happened with our sprinter Favour Ofili, who has decided to switch allegiance. At least we hear that she has, from Nigeria, and people are now saying, "Oh, don't let her go," But she had. The sports ministry or the AFN had years to fix whatever the issues are, and now we're crying when medicine after death, isn't it?
As usual. Always reactive, not proactive. We never do the right things, because from administration to administration, the story remains the same. They say the more things change, the more they remain the same. It's a very serious problem we have in our sports administration, and of course beyond. And that's why you see our athletes will continue to defect. They will continue to switch allegiances. I've said it many times, no athlete should think of representing Nigeria if they have the opportunity to represent a more serious nation, because for footballers, they have a better situation. As a matter of fact, most of our footballers don't play for Nigeria because of any financial benefit, I beg your pardon. It's just for the love of the country. They actually are willing to fulfill their bonuses because they earn enough playing football in Europe. But for the athletes, for the boxer, for the runner, for the long jump athletes, that is not the case. The only career they have is representing their nation at major international athletics or sporting events. And if they are not well paid, they will be left to suffer after their careers. That's why when they get the slightest opportunity, they switch allegiances. And you will never blame them, because that is the only career that they have. Nigeria needs to start doing better. Otherwise, we'll continue to lose our best hands, or best legs, or best talent to many other nations around the world.
If you talk about footballers even earning money, it doesn't apply to a lot of female footballers. Some of them, yes, have good contracts now in Europe and in America, but there's a good number of them, even in those countries, don't particularly earn anything close to what the men are earning. And I saw a list put out, I think it was by Osasu Abayowana, of arrears that are owed to a lot of these players, from Michel Alozie to Ifeoma Onumonu. So many of them, bonuses from months and years ago. And now they're about to play their first game today with this discussion still hanging in the air. And it makes you wonder, how do you go into a tournament? This is not a friendly. This is not a one-off qualifier. This is a full-on tournament that we hope Nigeria gets the crown back from South Africa, right? Where does the motivation for a tournament like this then come from?
Exactly. And just for context, the Super Falcons is the most successful national team in Africa, male or female.
Yep.
They've won more trophies than any other national team. And these girls are treated like outcasts. I remember when they won the AFCON in South Africa, they were ferried with a truck that is normally used to ferry farm produce. That is still happening up to today. I knew that these girls were being owed, but I didn't know it was this bad until I saw the tweet by Osasu Banyuwana, and I asked myself, what is wrong with us? What is wrong with our football? Since 2021, so basically, Amadou Pinnick passed the debt over to Shehu Buzo, who seems to, Madam Abdullahi Buzo or whatever, but who seems to have not even made any difference. We continue to hold these girls and they continue to win for Nigeria. I'm talking about motivation. Again, you just mentioned some of the girls playing abroad and earning decent money, not compared to the guys. Now, the motivation is actually playing these games and hoping that it will be noticed by international clubs so they can go over and earn better money for their careers. Playing for Nigeria is like a thankless project because you get nothing from it. And of course, when you get injured, nobody cares. Only the administrators are well taken care of. You see them looking very well fed. They fly business class. They stay in five-star hotels. But the girls who bring glory, who bring honor and pride to Nigeria are treated like nobody. It's unbelievable. I can't just comprehend this sort of behavior. And it's a reflection of who we are. It's a reflection of the quality of people running football in Nigeria. And the most unfortunate fact is that some of the guys in the media are friends to these people. So when they are supposed to speak the truth, they will not. Because if they do, they won't put them on the plane to travel for international games for free. And that already tells you of the rot in the entire football system in Nigeria. The media that is supposed to be is it on the fourth estate is compromised. It's a very sad thing.
You mentioned Ibrahim Guzo, the NFF chairman, I believe.
Yes, Ibrahim Guzo, thank you.
And a lot of people in the sports community were also excited when Shehu Diko was announced as the chairman of the National Sports Commission as well. I know FIFA rules, the sports government doesn't interfere with the NFF. But in a situation like this, where does the buck stop? I mean, what's supposed to happen now that all of these areas are there? And the girls are complaining, but they don't get the sort of traction that the men would if they complained. What happens now?
I think the buck stops on the table of Ibrahim Guzo. But of course, if they are cap in hand, why not go begging for support from the ministry or the sports commission? Shehu Diko basically grew up in the football system. Shehu Diko was one time vice president of the NFF. He's been in Nigerian football in different, capacity. Now he's the sports commission chairman, and he said a lot about how they want to build a sports economy, about how they want to make sports an economic driver. But what seems to be happening is more talk, less action, more photo op, less results. Because as a matter of fact, for someone like Shehu Diko, who has been involved in football over the years, who knows the plight of the girls, I think that he should have intervened before a matter like this comes into the public sphere. Because actually, it is an embarrassment. If these guys can even sponsor some of their, side chicks for international tournaments, and they cannot pay the girls, it says a lot about how selfish, how insensitive, and how wicked they are. Because we're supposed to treat our girls with absolute respect.
Very true.
Girls who are working for us, bringing us joy, we treat them like this. Oh, it's sad.
I want us to quickly end about, the Nigerian game is going to start in about an hour, I believe, our first game in the tournament. I mean, the team looks pretty solid. We still have Chiamaka Nnadozie, who, as far as I'm concerned, is the best goalkeeper on the continent. Ashley Plumter, Michelle Alozie. Many people are wondering if this might be one of Asisat Oshoala's final tournaments for the Super Falcons. We don't know how much more she's going to be around for. How confident are you feeling? I mean, South Africa had a great tournament the last time, took the cup home. We won that cup back, in spite of all this drama, which they have done in the past. Do you see the motivation? Do you see the talents there?
I think they are motivated nonetheless. These girls, they play for themselves. They play for you and I, who love them. As a matter of fact, they don't play for the NFF officials because they and these guys are never friends. Because no one will be happy with you if they continue to work and you don't reward them. So now they are doing it for themselves, and the average Nigerian on the street who continues to applaud them. And Asisat Oshoala has been there for many years. She's seen everything, the best, in fact, the worst of the worst. And you can tell how she has continued to keep working out for Nigeria. And look at the result. She's achieved a lot from in terms of her club career. And that also is a benefit from our playing for Nigeria. And I think that's what she will tell the other girls, coming into the team. Don't play for Nigeria because you want to gain anything financially. Build your career and get opportunity to play abroad. You mentioned Chinadozie Chiamaka, who just moved to Brighton in the Premier League. Fantastic move for her. Again, a result of her continuous dedication and hard work to the Super Falcons, and of course, continuing to do well on the pitch. I think that Nigeria can still go all the way and retain this tournament. But our biggest albatross will be South Africa. And South Africa, again, is now becoming our biggest enemy, both male and female. And
shocking.
You see that? Why is that happening? Why is that happening? It's a reflection of the work they put in behind the scenes for many years. It is now coming to fruition. They won the African Under-20 Championship. They might qualify for the FIFA World Cup ahead of Nigeria. Right now, they are never underdogs against Nigeria. So when you have talent, you don't have the organization, what you get is failure upon failure. But when you have organization and little talent, if you continue to work hard, the result will come. And that is what we're seeing with South Africa. That will be our biggest challenge. But I think that with Alozie, Aziza Doshoala, Chinadozie Chiamaka, I think that we can get something out of this tournament. I believe so.
Well,
I believe in the girls. Always deliver, unlike the boys.
Yeah, I think that's what we're all hoping for. I mean, keeping our fingers crossed. Nigerians need a break from a lot of things happening. So if the girls can bring us those smiles, I think we'll all appreciate it, and we'll wish them all the best. Thanks a lot, Akatugba, for joining us today. Hopefully you can come back. When we get the trophy, we'll invite you so we can all celebrate here with the girls.
I'm always available.